Hey buddy, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to this Extreme Warfare Revenge playthrough. My name is Andy, the commentator. This is episode number 17, I believe, where I'm booking a year's worth of shows on Extreme Warfare Revenge GWR for PWG. So just a quick recap of where we got to at the end of the last video, if you didn't see it. So the last event that we booked was the big June event, which was Mystery Vortex 8. So that was the card there. So we'll just quickly go through the key happenings. The Glory Days and Keith Lee rivalry continued. Drew Gulak debuted as well on that show during that match. Tennille Dashwood's title match was ruined by Katrina. So that match was thrown out. We got new tag team champions. Finally, the Powers of Pain have been beaten. Eli Drake got his job back, beating Josh Barnett. Asuka beat Mickie James thanks to help from Io Shirai. And in the main event, Kongo Kong retained his title, but he did it using underhanded tactics, beating Orange Cassidy. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at the end of the last video. So this video I'm going to do as usual. We're going to book two shows, the fallout from Mystery Vortex, and then start building towards the next event in July. Now, a couple of things just before I move on that I did before recording this video and recording the last video. In between recording the last video, yeah, you get the idea. So I've hired an extra medical person. No one needs to really watch me do that. I've also fired the Warlord and rehired him. Because if you watched the entire series, you'll remember he became a non-wrestler. Well, now they've lost the championships. I thought, well, it's better. I wanted to get him back as a wrestler so he could wrestle on TV, basically. So, yeah, so we fired him and rehired him. Now, we can only do that. I can't fight. If I fire him again, he won't come back, basically. So I need to. That needs to be the last time I've done that. But since I lost the belts, I can do it. Otherwise, it would have made the belts vacant, which I didn't really want to. I didn't want to ruin the lineage. Anyway, let's not worry about that. Oh, the other thing I've done as well is I put the July event in already. Put it back in the calendar, so 3 Mendes there. So that's done and dusted, because I don't want a situation like what happened with Bask in His Glory when I forgot to put it in the calendar. Anywho, let's actually do some booking. So, yep, this is the fallout from Mystery Vortex, the follow-up Warfare edition. I'm going to kick things off with an angle. It's going to be a one-on-one angle. It's going to be a challenge for the next big event. So we're already building towards 3 Mendes, which is why I put it in the calendar. And it's going to be Eli Drake challenging Super Dragon. So what's going to happen in this segment is basically Eli Drake's going to come out. I won't do a Eli Drake / LA Knight impression, but he'll go, where's the effect of, hey, Eli, hey, Super Dragon, even you're a complete dummy. You didn't read the fine print on the contract for my cage match. The contract said if I beat Josh Barnett, not only did I get reinstated, but I got your keister in a one-on-one match. So got 3 Mendes, you're gonna get your ass kicked. Blah blah blah. Yeah, where's that effect? So he's babyface is outsmarted the heel essentially. Then we're gonna move on to a tag team match player. Continuing a little sort of mini feud that we've had going on between the Godfather and Kushida, and they're going to take on Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews. So that's been a Godfather and the two Brits have been a sort of a little mini feud. Kushida's been helping him out, and the Godfather's yet to win a match since he debuted. Well, that's about to change because the Godfather is going to pin Flash Morgan Webster plainly, and then they're going to celebrate. I'm hoping, hopefully the fans have taken to Godfather. I think he's kind of a lovable character, so they'd celebrate the fact he's finally won a match. No purpose to that one, even though there kind of is. And then we're going to do back-to-back matches, and not just back-to-back matches, back-to-back tag team matches. I do like me a tag team match on this game. So it's going to be Bandido and Flamita, the new tag team champions, and they're going to take on the Juicy Product of JT Dunn and David Stow, one of them which needs a new gimmick apparently, but we'll not worry too much about that. Of course the champs are going to win. But then after the match, the newly hired Warlord and his partner the Barbarian are going to run in. That's the finish. Cleanly, there we go. Now we'll do the running. Edit that out. The Barbarian and the Warlord run in attack on Mexi Blood. and that's to build to a future match. So again, that's why I wanted to get Warlord rehired so we could wrestle on TV, because they're going to have a rematch. They're going to have a rematch next week, actually, so the commentators can say that. Then we're going to do an interview with the Glory Days, and we'll target Keith Lee, but it's not really about Keith Lee, but it's just going to be like, so, you know, Bob Backlund will just basically get on the microphone and rant. You know, say to them like, oh, well, did you just see that? We just destroyed the tag team champions. We're going to get our belts back next week. We beat Keith Lee at the Mystery Vortex. No one can stop us. When are people going to realise that we know best? Blah, 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 blah. You know, words to that effect. So, so yeah, that's the basically the point of that one. And then in response to that, we're going to have a backstage segment where Drew Gulak and Keith Lee. So let's get to the other angles. So the point of this segment really is, well, I said the point of the segment. The point of the segment is to establish a team, but like, I want Drew Gulak to kind of be like sort of like a lovable nerd, and then Keith Lee kind of like this big sort of hero that he sort of worships, essentially, or looks up to. Maybe not worships, but, you know, looks up to. So he'll go up to him and be all like sort of giddy and like, oh, you know, I know I screwed up at the pay-per-view, but hey, I made up for it, didn't I? I cost them the tag team titles, and I really want to help you out in this fight, and I know you don't need my help, but it'd be great to help you out, and I really want to protect PWG, blah blah blah. I've even, you know, so let's team up together. I've even thought of a name for our team. You ready for it? The Troop. I know it sounds a bit weird, but did you know the collective noun for Gorillas is a troop, and we work for PWG? And I think it'd be. And then eventually Keith Lee would interrupt and say, "Yeah, okay, you can team. You know, yeah, okay, let's work together. You know, the Glory Days have got Bayern strength in numbers, so let's fight fire with fire, sort of thing." And Keith Lee walks off, and Drew Gulak's like beaming from ear to ear that Keith Lee's agreed to team with him, basically. So that'd be hopefully that segment would be slightly better than I've just described it. But I think Drew Gulak and Keith Lee are a bit more charismatic than I am. Anywho, got another angle here. So it's going to be two workers try to brawl. So it's going to be Tenille and Deonna. So of course Tenille annoyed that her title got ruined. She wants a rematch, even though it really wasn't anything to do with Deonna as to why it got ruined. But it got ruined by Katrina, who of course manages the Japanese ladies. I'm going to have yet another angle because we don't book matches. It's going to be another angle, and it's going to be two partners hanging out. Now this is quite an important little segment because of what they're going to say. So it's going to be Mia Yim and bestie Mickie James talking to each other again. So the point of this segment is going to be Mickey's going to say, you know, I still want the championship. My number one contenders match got ruined by Asuka, which is why she lost to Tenille Dashwood, because Asuka helped her. Mickey says she still wants the title. Hopes Mia understands. And Miriam says, yeah, fine, you know, you've been honest with it from the beginning. And they're also going to say that Io Shirai, throughout July, won't be here because she's touring with New Japan. So it's kind of writing Io Shirai off for a month because she won't be available in July, basically. So they're going to mention that here and say, well, hopefully with her gone, we might get a fair crack at the whip, or it's going to be an even fight, or, you know, words to that effect. And then at the last segment is going to be another tag team match player, another random one, kind of, and it's going to be Josh Barnett and Timothy Thatcher taking on Triton, who hasn't been seen for a while, and Orange Cassidy. Now this point of this is just to kind of reheat Orange Cassidy up. So Orange Cassidy is going to pin Timothy Thatcher cleanly, and then the aftermath, Congo Kong's going to run in and attack Orange Cassidy, just to kind of, because we need to set up a rematch. So that's kind of the point of that. Congo Kong pinned him, but he did it by cheating. So yeah, that's just so we're going to book a rematch. Okay, let's go with it. Let's see how this show goes. Oh, that's encouraging. That is encouraging. That's a good start. Yet we know that's happening, but we'll deal with that very, very shortly. Better match than I thought it was going to be. That was a good match, but then again, 4 good workers. Fair enough. Cheers, Kev. Wasn't really the point of that, but doesn't matter. Which is the tagline for this series, of course. Cool. Yep, that's established those two. Yep, that's established that they're going to get a rematch. So chatting, blah, 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 blah. We've established what that's doing. And a good little tag team match to finish off. So that could have gone worse. A 67% quality show. I feel like the last few shows were all 66%, so it's nice to go up a percent. It's nice to get to 70 sometime. Oh, no, we've got 70 before. Here we go, a couple of 66s. Then a 61, something bad with that. Oh, the Barbarian. Yeah, that table angle didn't go down very well. Anyway, back on form, that's the main thing. You probably should be, but hey ho. 415 people turned up to watch that. Okay, decent little Fallout show. Nice, let's move on now. Let's get to July. And we'll see what's cooking. So we're going to see what... in fact, just before we flick over to July, let's just quickly check Japan. So yeah, so NJPW, so you can see there Io Shirai. There's pretty much dates booked all for July. In fact, there may be dates all for July. Hardly anything in August, thankfully. But yeah, she's pretty much gone all July, so that's why I wanted to kind of do a segment. We've also got Pro Wrestling Noah announcing their rosters tomorrow, so I'm hoping Go Shiozaki and Naomichi Marufuji, if I've said that right, get released. Certainly Go Shiozaki, because we've used him before, so it'd be quite nice if I could actually sign him permanently. Which would be good, so we'll keep an eye on that, which is why it's on the little notepad there, along with a few other people I want to keep an eye on. So I want to try and see if we can bring in Go Shiozaki on a permanent contract. That'd be nice. So we'll get quite a few emails here. Hopefully nothing too major we need to react to. Okay. 45 emails. The July show's booked, just making absolutely sure I'm not going mad. A few debuts. A few birthdays even, not debuts. Yeah, good. Kevin Sullivan. Let's get all these dream matches in while we can. For old Kev, everyone wants to work with him, of course. I'm sure you're being underpaid, all these jobs you're doing, buddy. He's a great jobber, actually. Yeah, that's a shame. He's been absolutely priceless to us. House of Hardcore's been promoted. Sin Limite's been promoted, very good. Glacier's retired. Colonel Robert Parker's retired. Mihei, okay. Dr. Cerebro, Akibono, Eric Bischoff, Gilbert L. Boriqua, Vampiro, that was a shame. No, the Sandman. Not the Sandman. Retirement angle? No, I don't think so. Staff member Terry Funk's retired. Okay, Lex Luger's retired from PWG. Okay, so we need to hire a new medical person. Fair enough. Ronald Caldwell, VJ K. Ball, Leo Burke, Gino Caruso. No, not Howard Finkel. I didn't realise he was still in this game, actually. Okay, fair enough. Right, okay, so, right. Fair enough. Stomping Grounds got nearly a 2.0 buy rate. 20,000 people turned up. Tell this game's not real. Right, Nova announced two of us. So we'll come back to the development deals in a second. Let's just get rid of some emails that we don't need to worry about. So there's nothing interesting there. Don't need to worry about any of those. Kevin Sullivan, don't care about that for now. Don't care about that. Certainly don't care about that. Right, House of Hardcore Tuesday's been promoted, and Sin Limited. Let's just have a quick look at that. I don't know if I've ever showed you this screen before. This internet screen, but this, I mean, obviously it's not actually connected to the internet. It's just a. But I quite like this idea. Right, okay, so we are. So there's House of Hardcore. So it's been moved to late evening. I think it was on Graveyard, wasn't it? It's been promoted. It would suggest it was. So that's on a Tuesday. I want to see where Sin Limited is. Is it Saturdays, that one? Yeah, we're the only show on Thursday. Yeah, Saturday. So it's out directly up against CMLL, so that'll be interesting. Two Mexican promotions going head to head. You've also got shows on Sundays as well, but at different slots. Fair enough. Fair enough. Right, so we don't need to worry about that or that. Right, Glacier's retired. Conor Parker, Mihei, yeah. Do any of these really matter? Sandman. No, they don't. Let's get rid of that. Then we'll have a check. Right, so we'll have a look at Noah's touring roster. Then we'll have a look at the development people. And then there's something else that I need to... There's a few other things I need to do, actually. So let's get on with it. I don't want this video to be too long. But at the same time... yeah, I don't want this video to be too long. But we do have a few bits and bobs that we need to do. So let's have a look at Japan. Let's see who Promising Noah have got touring with them. So it looks like Go Shiozaki has gone. So let's look at Aja Kong, that's interesting. Bobby Fish, Chris Dickinson, David Boy Smith Jr. Of course, used to tour with New Japan. I think Chris Dickinson was in New Japan as well, if I remember correctly. Francis Taylor, I don't know where he is, I'll be honest. Hernandez, Jay Lethal, Keiji Muto, that's appropriate. Luke Gallows, who was, of course, in New Japan. Nick Jackson, who was, of course, in New Japan. I think Matt Jackson's on a written contract with somebody. Ryback in Pro Wrestling Noah, that'll be interesting. Sabu, Satoshi Kojima, and Scott Steiner, who has wrestled in Japan. Yeah, so that's an eclectic bunch. But Go Shiozaki has gone, as has Marufuji, actually. So the two guys I was keeping an eye on are now available. Keiji Muto, though. Has Keiji Muto been signed? I think he has, hasn't he? Yeah. No, he was on my shortlist, so let's take him off. I've already took him off, yeah. So let's have a look. Go Shiozaki. I'm not going to hire him just yet, but I do want to bring him in. Not Naomi. Here we go. Yeah, see, very good stats. 39. We'll see. We'll have a think. Right. Well, who or what do we need to hire? Myron Reed's morale's going up, so that's good. Right. Need at least 3 members. Yeah, that's fine. Need to hire another one. Yeah, that's okay. So we just need to hire a medical person, so let's do that. If I do that, though, I just want to check one thing, actually. I just want to see. Let me just go back to the old internet. Is it this one? Yeah, Women of Wrestling in Trouble. I just want to send the promotions that are sort of close to bankruptcy. Let's have a look. No backyard promotions. Small. Yeah, if you click on the attempt to buy out, if they're struggling for money, they'll normally be about to become regional. That's nice. They'll normally say they'll agree to meet for preliminary talks. I just wonder if anybody of these would be interested. Maybe I should have checked this off when I'm not recording, but just in case anybody does. Right, Women of Wrestling. So this is they're struggling financially. I mean, if Nick Gage is their top star, I'm not surprised, given they're called Women of Wrestling. But they'll let me give them money, but they won't. They don't want to meet for buyout talks. Oh, Carlos Colon. I thought it was Victor Yavica. I think I've said that in old episodes and obviously got that one wrong. Right, none of these will be struggling. So. Okay, fair enough. Right, let's move on quickly. So let's get a medical person in just before I move on to the next bit of the booking. Got one more show to book in this episode. Is that all there is? Larry, Heck, and Jason. I'm sure there was more than that when I hired my the other guy, Kevin Costin or whatever it's called. It's costing me a fortune, I know that. But right, Jason, does it really matter? Does it heck? So let's get him in. I think they're saving a little bit of money. $2 a month, you never know. Right, so that's Lex Luger replaced. I've got a few more bits I need to do here before we move on. Right, merchandise. I might put the merchandise in advertising. I kind of want to increase the production as well, to be honest. But we'll stick with it for now. We get any better sponsors? Let's have a look. Ooh, Greyhound. Now that would be... that's more money than we've currently got, so I might try and get them in, actually. I'll worry about that next time. Yeah, we'll worry about that next time. So, we don't need the extra money at the minute. I mean, we've made 300. We're making like over $300,000 a month. So we're doing okay. But obviously, the more money, the better. I'll come back to that one. Right. Anyway, so let's have a look at the development deal. The development people. Let's see how they're getting on. So good improvement there from Riho. Good improvement there from Sho Terumino. That's good. That's really good. That's also really good. That's also really good. That's also really good. That's not. That's good. That's, yeah, pretty good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Ty Conti and, right, so Noah. So yeah, really good development. So that's coming on nicely. Don't need to worry about any of those emails. Right. What I do need to do though is put a few things in place before we do the next bit of the booking. The first of which is to add the stable. So I'm going to call them the Troop, which is the collective noun for gorillas. So it's going to be Keith Lee and Drew Gulak, who's there. Right, so that's the start of that. We also need to hire some people. We need to hire 3 people, so this is going to be interesting. Now, normally I hire people off camera when I'm not recording, just to try and make it a surprise. But well, not in this case. I don't think it really is going to matter too much. So the first person I'm going to hire is Mikey Nichols. Not Mickey Knuckles. Mikey Nichols. Where is he? Just M-I-K. I thought it was M-I-C-K. No, it's just M-I-K. Spelt that wrong on my little crib sheet that I'm working against. Right, so Mikey Nichols. Let's bring him in. A written deal. Can we get him for 3 years? Let's try. Yes, I can. That's him in. And no prices for guessing who the next signing is. Not Shane Douglas, not Shane Taylor, not Shane Strickland. Which is a shame. It's... Let's say which is a Shane. Not Shane. Anyway, move on. It's Shane Thorne. Better known... I say better known. Shane Haste. One of his... more infamously known as Slapjack from Retribution. We won't be calling him that. So Shane Thorne, so we've got him in now for 3 years. And the last signing, I don't think anyone's going to be able to guess who this is, but you'll have heard of her because it's Zelina Vega. We're going to bring in Zelina Vega. Even though she's a main eventer, I'm not bothered. So we'll give her a written contract. Or will we? No, let's give her an open contract, actually. Yeah, open contract. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there we go. Yes. Okay. Now I just need to do a couple of other bits and bobs. So Shane Thorne, where are you? Where are you? Yeah, so Shane Thorne, both of them actually, and Mikey Nichols, they both have foreign star gimmick. Now, I've got quite a few people on the roster with foreign star gimmick, and I've got this weird thing in my head about I don't like a lot of people with the same gimmick. So, I'm going to change their gimmick, not to Retribution, but I'm going to change it to High Society. which hopefully will not be an absolute disaster. High society. Yeah, okay. Basically, high and mighty. That's the that's where we're going with that one. So essentially, they're sort of like going to come across as sort of Australian, not royalty, but Australian like. They were rich in Australia, basically. That's kind of the gimmick that we're going for there. The other thing I need to do, which is quite important, is which is why I've not been worried about his gimmick, is I need to. Not moving around the card. I'm going to turn the Godfather. And there's a very good reason for that, which we will get to shortly. In fact, we'll get to it now because we're going to do the booking. There's one extra thing I need to do, but I'll do it at the end of this show. Actually, we don't need to get to the booking just yet because I've got a few days to pass. Let's just see what Sophie says about. Let's just see what the finance team say. Sorry, merchandise. Okay. Now, you can only. There's some things you can only do at the first of the month. So that's why I'm taking a bit of time and just making sure that I do everything I need to do. I'll come back to the... What day are we on? Monday. Yeah, I'll come back to the sponsor. Because I do want to get that extra sponsor, Greyhound, or what was it called? Yeah, I do want to get that sponsor in. But we need to get rid of these sponsors. Now, I'll do it in the... Basically, I'm going to do it in the next video. Because there's a way of getting rid of sponsors. You can end the contract. You can end the sponsorship deal, but if you do that, it costs you a lot of money. Or there's a workaround, which I'm going to do. Having said that, Jack Daniels expires in 2 months. So it might be worth just waiting and then doing it then. But anyway, we'll worry about that in the next episode. So yeah, I think advertising and merchandise, that's the only time you can change it is at the first of the month. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to put the advertising up to 63, and I'm going to put the merchandising up to 31, just to spend a little bit more money on both things, because I want to try and start drawing a bigger audience. I think the production you can change at any time. So, but I'm going to leave it at 60 just for now. I'm happy with the one show. Right, I think we're good. What did the finance team say about that? Anything? No, we don't need an extra road agent, despite the fact we just hired 3 people. Cool, right, let's go with it then. Go Shiozaki, Marufuji, I'll come back to them. I've not got anything for them for now. I do want to try and start growing this roster. Looks like a few bits and bobs have happened. Right, WWE signed Doug Rivaldo, presumably to replace Howard Finkel. Francis Taylor, I don't know who that is. I feel like I should. And GPW signed Paul London to a written contract. That's interesting. John Davis squeezed open contract. Matt Tremont has gone to CMLL. Hiroki Goto has gone to WWN. Matt Tremont's gone to WWN as well. Jun Kasai. Francis Taylor. It's weird. I've always... And Helico, that's a good signing. Mark Briscoe. That is a random signing. Is Jay there as well? So obviously he's... yeah, he's still on this. Yeah, so they've got both of them. They're both on written contracts as well. Oh no, he's 2-0-1, Jay, so they can't give him a written contract. Okay, they've got both of them, so that's good. Right. Interesting. Yeah, it's weird how on this game, how like no one signed somebody, and then the same. I've said this before, but it happened with Ryback and Keiji Muto. No one has signed them, and then within the space of about a week, they were working for 3 companies, and that's going to happen again here with this Francis Taylor guy. I imagine. Who is he actually? Oh, looks like he's a regen type thing. Unless he is a real person, I've just never heard of him, which is quite possible. Just with having that picture, I'd have thought that. I don't know. Anyway, move on. nothing exciting there. Who's Jun Kasai? I've heard of that name. Just check. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, I know he is. I think he's a bit of a deathmatch person. I imagine he's aware of. He's encountered a light tube or two in his time, I suspect. Right, 4th of July, big day. And what better way to do it? What better way to spend a important day in the American calendar than watching some wrestling? And given the fact that we are the only show on Thursdays, you can sit down and watch us and then have stuff your face with turkey afterwards. Okay then. Right, this is going to be quite a big show actually. It's quite an important one. Quite a few things are going to happen. I'm not going to... Now, normally I book this in order. But yeah, it's good. We'll book it in order. Now, this segment here that I've got planned, this was planned for PCO. But because I couldn't sign it, because the game wasn't working for some reason, I'm going to have to do it with the Godfather. So, turn angle. Right, heel turn. By joining stable. Yeah, singles heel turn by joining stable. So the Godfather joins the Glory Days. Now what's going to happen here is... So what would happen here is, in this segment, I had this idea with PCO, but basically the Godfather would come out and say... It would have worked better with PCO, but the Godfather would come out and say, you know, I appreciate all the support I've had since I joined here. I got my first win last week. Everyone's been great. Blah blah blah. And then Bob Backlund would come out and interrupt him. And I put way too much thought into this segment, but I think it'd be really good actually. Obviously. Then Bob Backlund would come out and say, don't listen to these idiots. You know, they don't care about you. They just think you're a novelty act. They'll chant this is awesome, then 10 seconds later they'll get their phones back out and start tweeting about how John Cena should have turned heel 10 years ago and all that, this other stuff, and hopefully they're all booing at this point. And then he says, join us, remember, don't you remember what it was like? Don't you remember what you were like back in the day, back in the Glory Days? You used to scare people. People used to fear you. You used to make little kids cry. Obviously referring to the fact that he used to be Papa Shango. Before you started wearing this crap and pandering to these, and then he knocks his pimp's hat off and pulls at the chain or whatever. We can get back to that. Join me, join us. Remember when we used to ride in limousines. We weren't sat behind a table at conventions selling 6x4s. Shaking fans' hands, etc. We were superstars. We used to ride limousines, but but he talks about what wrestling was like back in the day. But and then the Godfather kind of shakes his head. He's saying no. And then when he as he's getting more and more angry, Backlund, he slaps the Godfather and as I said, pulls some of his jewellery off. And then the Godfather grabs him. So kind of grabs him around he's wearing a shirt and tie. Grabs him around the neck. And then at that point, the Warlord or somebody from the Glory Days will run in, and they'll throw something into the ring. And Bob Backlund, and then obviously as the Godfather sees the cavalry, he kind of lets go of Backlund, and then Backlund reaches into his pocket, and in his pocket he's got the beads that Papa Shango used to wear. And the Warlord's thrown the hat into the ring that Papa Shango used to wear, and inside the hat there's some white face paint. So, Bob Backlund's screaming at him, showing him all this stuff, saying, "Remember who you used to be. Remember who you used to be." And Godfather's trying to resist, and then hopefully the crowd are getting into it and saying doing the Daniel Bryan no or whatever. And eventually the Godfather will pick up the face paint and he'll wipe it across his face. And the camera will zoom in on his... I told you I thought way too much about this. The camera will zoom in on his face. And as his hand goes across his face, he'll go from smiling to sneering, and the white paint will be on his face. And then Backlund will start jumping up and down and throwing his hands in there, going, yes, yes, do it. And they can do the Daniel Bryan mocking. They'll start going, yes. Mocking the fans who are hopefully saying no at this point. And then anyway, yeah, eventually goes off with them and joins the Glory Days. Now, I was going to do that with PCO, where it would have been, it would have been the Quebec flag. That was the thing I had in mind, that Backlund would hold the Quebec flag up in front of him and say, remember who you were, and then he'd wipe the face paint off rather than put it on. But you get the idea. Anyway, yeah, he joins the Glory Days, so that's the point of that. That took way too long to explain, but I think it would have been a really good segment if had it come across a bit better. Anyway, yeah. Now to something a bit more normal. So we're going to do a tag team match player, because that's all I ever seem to book. And it's going to be the debut of the Troop. So it's going to be Keith Lee and Drew Gulak taking on Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews. Obviously, they're going to be responding to what's just happened. Just seeing the Glory Days get even bigger. So they're going to make their debut. Obviously, it's an untitled match. And unfortunately, the Troop are going to lose because, no surprisingly, interference. It's going to be Kevin Sullivan running in. So the Godfathers joined Bob Backlund. Kevin Sullivan's screwing these over. Of course, we've got the title match later on, the tag team title match. Yeah, no aftermath. And that's just to keep that feud going. It's also build up to a future match, because it is all building up to something, kind of a big head-on collision eventually, which I think we can all see where this is going, but it needs to play out. Yeah, also, I forgot to mention as well, in this first segment, they talk about there was a match that the Glory Days ruined when the Godfather was in, and then they talk about like why they did it. So they did it to plant the seed of, this is what you could be. If you join us, this is what you could do. You can run roughshod over everybody. Don't think I need to mention that, but hey ho. Okay. Now, the first of our debuts, which is not quite going to be a debut, but... So we're going to have an Authority angle. Authority books one-on-one for next show, so next week. It's going to be Excalibur, and he's going to book Mickie James versus Zelina Vega. Or Rosita, whatever she was called in Impact TNA. I can't remember. So basically what's going to happen here is Excalibur's going to announce that Mickie James came to him and said that she wants another shot because her shot got ruined. So he announces that if Mickie James wins this match, that whoever wins this match, it'll become a triple threat match at the event at 3 Menders. So it's going to be so Tenille's getting a rematch because her match got ruined by Katrina. Obviously, Deanna's the champion, and Mickie James's #1 contenders match got ruined, so she's got the opportunity. So she's got the opportunity here to get into a triple threat match. Obviously, Vega as well if she wins, but Excalibur says that Excalibur's also going to say that Mickie James chose Zelina Vega as an opponent because obviously they knew each other. I'm assuming they were in TNA at the same time when Zelina Vega was. I can't remember if she was Rosita or Sarita, whichever one she was. I can't remember which one. I think it was Rosita. I think it was Sarita. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so that's basically the point. That's the point there. So that's why Zelina Vega's coming in. Right, we're going to have a match. It's not going to be a tag team match for once. It's going to be a nice, simple one-on-one. So it's going to be Eli Drake versus Mark Haskins, the birthday boy. No prize for guessing who wins this match. Of course, Eli Drake. And then no aftermath. And no nothing, just to... it's obviously building up Eli Drake ready for his title... ready for his... not his title match, his showdown with Super Dragon. Right, and then we're going to have yet more Glory Days shenanigans. So it's going to be an angle. A lot of heel heat on this show. It's going to be an ambush angle. It's going to be distraction and henchman. So it's going to be Bob Backlund and once again Kevin Sullivan. Double duty for Kev. It's going to be Kushida who gets beat up, and the distraction is going to be the Godfather. So basically what's going to happen here is Kushida will go up to the Godfather and say, you know, what you're doing. You know, we teamed up last week. I've been helping you out. I thought we could have a fun little team. You know, we could have kept teaming, maybe gone after the tag team titles. You know, one last run, blah 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 blah. And then while they're talking, Backlund and Sullivan will attack Kushida from behind, and Godfather will just stand there and watch, basically. Just to solidify the fact that he's now a heel, and just to solidify that we've got a title match coming up at the next event. We're going to do an angle, I should say. So it's going to be Champion Floors Challenger and poses with belt. So Kongo Kong, Floors Orange Cassidy, and poses with the world title. So again, just to build that up. Then we'll do an interview with Tennille. So no, the champions aren't going to be on this show. And it's going to be well, I suppose we'll say Deonna. To hype the upcoming match. But basically, she's going to say, well, it's not fair that I should get a one-on-one rematch. It's not fair that it's going to be a triple threat match. But then again, it doesn't matter because I'll win anyway. You know, standard stuff. And last but not least, the main event for the tag team titles. So it's going to be the Warlord and the Barbarian. And they're going to take on, of course, the champions, Bandido and Flamita. Tag team titles are on the line. Of course, they're going to retain. So we'll give Flamita the pin this time, and he's going to pin the Barbarian cleanly. But then, here they come. It's Shane Thorne and Mikey Nichols, the Mighty, taking on... not taking anybody on. They're just going to run in, and they're going to attack the champions, Mexi Blood. And the purpose of that is to debut the Mighty. Okay, so quite an important show, I think, as again we start to build towards 3 Mendes. So we've got a heel turn, we've got a debut, we've got talk of a debut, which is going to happen next week. Yeah, we've got tag team title match, big show. Let's see if we get a big rating. Let's go. Godfather getting 3 points of overness from this segment and 4 points of overness from his turn. So we're getting 7 points of overness from that segment. So that's pretty good. That is pretty good. Good. That's why I gave him the pin, because I want him to get over, because he's way less over than his tag team partner, so that's good. And that was a good match as well. What a great segment that was. It was good. We're on for a good show here. We may get this long sought after 70% rating here. So that's good. That was a good match. That was a really good match, actually. That could have been better, but hopefully won't drag us down too much. Yep, Tennille Dashwood getting over. That's good. Negative response. Hopefully that won't matter too much, because I'm just hoping that as long as it doesn't say losing over because of his weak gimmick, like it was saying for what's it called, the Godfather, then that won't matter too much. Only done it for Shane Thorne as well, at least. At least he's not done it for both members of the team. Right. Have we finally cracked 70? I don't think we will have done. 68. Still better than the last one, but not quite 70. Plenty of people got over, though, so that was good. That was good. Yep. Perfect. 404 people turned up for that. Right, so that's the end of the video. Just one more thing I'm going to do, actually, before I say sayonara. Speaking of which, actually, just wondering, off the top of my head, and I don't actually know the answer to this, and I probably should. TMDK in New Japan, the Zack Sabre Jr. stable. I just wonder, the Mighty, Mikey and Shane Thorne are part of that stable. I just wonder if... Oh, he's still a foreign star. That's annoying. I thought I'd change that. Okay, we'll change it next time. Small mistake. Yeah. Anyway, I just wonder: does the I don't know if TMDK stands for anything, but does the TNM stand for the Mighty? Absolutely no idea. If you know, let me know, because I don't know. Probably could look it up, but just thinking off the top of my head. That was annoying. I thought I'd done that. Maybe I clicked cancel change by accident. Anywho, that's yeah, that was a small mistake by me. But we shall we'll put it right next time when they're on screen. Right, just one more thing before I go, because this video is getting quite long now. But there's been quite a few little bits I've needed to do. Now, I mentioned in a previous video, I was talking about signing people on written contracts that are also working for other companies, especially bigger promotions. So, for example, let me just go for an example. So, if I go to AAA, so if I wanted to sign Jack Evans, for example, on a written contract, I wouldn't be able to, because he'd say, I'm not signing for you because I work for bigger promotions. So let me just give you an example. Let's really labour the point. So if I go to Jack Evans and I go to from a written deal, right? I say you could do more earning his. Yeah, that's fine. Come on. Yeah, see, I already work for bigger promotion than you, signing next. Right, so no matter how much money I offer him, that he will reject it, because he works for AAA, who are a bigger company than me, apparently. However, I think, now I've got MJF here. Now he works for MLW. Now MLW are a bigger promotion than me. Okay, only one up, but they are still a bigger promotion. But if I go to offer him a written contract, which I'm going to, because I want to sign him up exclusively, even though his stats aren't great, I do want to sign him up. So let's see if we can get him on a written deal. Let's see if we get him on a long deal. Because I think, I know he's saying this, but let me just bear with me a second. Okay, let's try 4. No, okay, let's try 3. There we go. So you see, you can. I thought you could. I just wonder if you have to get them on your roster first, and then offer them a written contract. So basically, I was wrong in the past. So I'm not quite sure. What needs to happen to sign people on written contracts. I thought I knew this game, but I was clearly not, because so maybe when I lost Will Ospreay, maybe I could have signed him because he was already on the roster. But anyway, that's just something interesting to I didn't think that was not quite sure how that's worked, but it has, and that's that now. So anyway, that's the end of this video finally, because we're nearly onto 50 minutes, which is far too long, but I've been rabbiting on and on and on. But if you enjoyed this video, then please like and share the video. You can also leave a comment on the video, should you choose to do that. While you're here on YouTube, if you head on over to the channel, The Commentator, you'll find the rest of the videos in this playlist, so you can see how I've got to this point so far, how the storylines have developed. If you've missed anything, then please go and check that out. Also, if you go to the channel, you'll find a myriad of other games I've played through, most of which are console games. So if you like wrestling, for example, I've done a playthrough of WWE Crush Hour, so please go and check that out. It's kind of wrestling, I suppose. Also, as I said, plenty of other console games, Mega Drive / Genesis, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1 and 2, etc, etc. But Joe, next time we're going to be moving on. We're going to be moving on through July. We're now halfway through the year, so probably halfway through this series. So we're going to be the next 2 shows in July as we build towards 3 Mendes, which is coming up at the end of the month. But until that point, for now, from me, it is sayonara.